So one of the most interesting things I've noticed in Castlevania on Netflix is the relationship of God and like religion within that time frame. And I think it's so interesting because you have, okay, not only do they reference paganism, which is technically a vague description of religion before Christians and Catholics and Catholicism became like a huge thing. The church is mainly the huge villain in this series. And the reason they're the villain is because they technically fucked up and they burned Dracula's wife even though she was just a doctor. And because of that, they pissed Dracula off, and Dracula summoned demons from hell, right? But then that's really interesting because his wife doesn't believe in the devil, which is like you're married to a vampire, but whatever, I guess. And the reason this happens is because she's reading these books and she's a scientist, she's a doctor and stuff, and she knows that the supernatural exists. And when she's getting dragged off by the priest, and she's like, "Please don't kill me. You don't know what you're about to bring upon yourself." He's like, the priest is like, "The words of the devil from a witch." And she's like, "No, because my husband is actually real," which is kind of insinuates that the devil is not real, but we get demons. But we get demons later in the series when Dracula summons them up from hell, right? So I don't know if that's a metaphor that Dracula was using because hell was considered the worst place ever, or if he's just using a spiritual realm of black magic. But when they rise up the demons, there's this other scene where the demon is confronting the priest, and the priest is just like, "You cannot be in the house of God," and the demon is like, "God is not in here," and he's just like, and he's just like, "No, you're horrible, like you can't do this." And the demon says, "What you're doing would make your God puke. Your God's love is not unconditional." And this is very much a reference to the Christian and Catholic God, because that's the entire premise, alright? The entire like start of it. And when the priest is getting killed, we look up at the statues and like the paintings of Jesus and God, and they're looking away from him because they don't care about him. And I thought that was really, really interesting because it kind of makes you wonder, are God and the devil the same person in Castlevania? Because the way the demons are speaking about him makes it seem like they know what God wants. They know who God is and stuff. So what's going on with that? I'm barely on episode 3, so I might be wrong.